This was like the first search engine I was using, but it's not the one that lasted, right? And Facebook wasn't the first social media platform, right? Here's MySpace and Tom in the background, the guy that you're automatically friends with. And how about Apple? Did Apple create the first MP3 player? Nope, they did not. I was about to buy this, the Dell something, and then I decided to get an Apple. But it's dangerous to be on the frontier of anything, to be first, right? So think about anything, right? The Wild West, right? How many people died trying to get to, they didn't know what was there. There was Indians and diseases and all sorts of stuff, right? Or crossing the Atlantic, or exploring a new, never before seen jungle, right? Or even being the first person to climb that mountain in Lion's Head in South Africa, right? There wasn't a trail, there weren't guardrails, there weren't ropes. I don't think I would have made it, right? That wouldn't have been good. So what we want to do when choosing our path is we want to mimic success, and then we want to imitate it before we innovate it. All right? So we want to see what works and expand on that, rather than trying to look for something that doesn't work yet or it's not proven yet, right? So what works? Well, this is the typical model of what works since 1998 for affiliates on ClickBank, for people promoting other people's products. So people have been making a lot of money on ClickBank, right? They do it by sending traffic or visitors to a product or an offer with what's called their affiliate link, which is just a link that makes you the commission if someone buys through that link. And then they make their money. You make the commission as high as maybe 75%, right? And that's what they do. So does this model make sense? Do you guys get this? Let me know. All right. Yes. Got it. Yes. Okay. So, but here's the thing. You guys have probably known this, and then it's like, okay, well, why aren't I making money? Maybe it's because I don't have the traffic. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but that's not your issue. So this is what you need to be focusing on right here. It's something that is called the income equation. And before we get to that, the reason why you need to focus on the income equation is because this model of making money on the internet has become really popular over time, right? So many gurus have taught ways to make money like this, and it's become more saturated than ever. People are still making a lot of money, but it's a smaller amount of people that are doing really specific things. And I think it's safe to say it's gotten a lot harder over time, right? See, if you're doing what everyone else does, it's not long before things stop being as profitable, right? If you're trying to run the same ads, the same methods of selling the same products, eventually there's saturation in the market, right? It doesn't work as well. So it's important to know what I call the three-part income equation. And the three-part income equation looks like this. It's almost identical, but it's breaking down the important part of each step. All right? There's so many different ways to do this, but it's important to look at what actually causes the money that you make. This is the income equation. Now, it's important to understand this so you can see how breakthrough this stuff is that we're about to share with you. So what I want you to specifically do here is look at each part of the income equation. This is all you need to do, by the way, to understand how to really control your destiny with an online income. Okay, so these three things. How many people are seeing what you're promoting? How many people buy based on that? And how much money do you make per person that buys? That's going to determine how much money you make, right? That's it. There's no other variable. All right, that's it. This is the income equation. And when a lot of people think about, is they're thinking about traffic. Oh, I have to focus on the amount of people, the traffic. And that's actually not the place to start, right? Like many things, the place to start is actually with the end goal in mind. So we want to look at the part that will make us the actual money. And that comes down to part 2 and 3, right? How many buyers can you get? And how much money do you make per buyer? If you can maximize that, then you'll realize that traffic is really easy, because you can easily pay for as much traffic as you want on Facebook ads or Google or YouTube, and we'll show you how and explain that. But here's the issue, right? Most newbies promote simple products on ClickBank. They earn $20 here, $30 here, and that can work over time and make you money, but it's harder to start earning a significant income when the amount of money you make is not a lot, right? It gets hard to generate traffic. But let's start right here on how much money you make for every product you promote. Now, 99% of newbies on ClickBank are promoting low-price courses and ebooks. That's mostly what's on the ClickBank marketplace. It takes a heck of a lot of sales to make a good amount of money, right? Hundreds of sales is what it could take to make thousands of dollars. But I want you to think bigger. I want you to be comfortable thinking bigger, and this is important for everyone here. What if instead of dozens or hundreds of sales, you only needed one sale to make you up to $1,000 or even up to $2,000 in real commissions? Commissions here. I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about real dollars in your pocket paid out to you. Now, a lot of programs talk about revenue where it could take several thousands in sales to make $1,000. What we're talking about here is the actual $1,000 commission in your account. All right. So how do we do this? Well, first, we need to make more money per person. We need to make money promoting high-priced products. Right? That's how you can make a ton of money per customer. It's promoting high-priced products. But now let's work to the offer. Okay, so what products do we promote, and how do we make sure that the most people buy as possible? How do we make sure that this percentage is high of people that are purchasing? Well, when you promote a high-priced product, let's say it's a $2,000 product, it's not easy, right? It's not something that you can just send to people and they buy it, right? It's not like an impulse buy, like some gum that you're picking up at the grocery store right when you're at checkout. You need a specific system to do this, a system that we figured out, we've been using to generate an average of there's probably an average of up to 6 figures per month for years, I would say, doing this, probably. And the thing is, though, that newbies can't do it. Hey, they just can't do it, this system that we use for how to position a high-priced offer. There's just too many roadblocks, and that's why it's only been reserved for literally probably the 0.1% of marketers, the 0.1%. And lucky for you guys here, we have an incredible amount of data, right? There's 30,000 transactions that are happening every day on ClickBank, and we can see what's underneath the hood. We can see what's working. We can see where and how people are making an absolute killing. So let me get into this, all right? So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's one that probably should make your ears perk up. There's been a sea of change on ClickBank. And as you know, we have this 10,000-foot view of what's going on across the entire online horizon, really. It's an edge that no one in the industry has, no guru has, right? And thanks to our access, we're able to see what's selling, what's not selling, what's working right now behind the scenes. Bottom line is we get to see where the gold is being dug up like a treasure map. And here's one clue. All right, so a lot of successful marketers are having really great success with a specific type of online sales presentation. It's a format that we'll be talking about in depth, and what I've got for you today is something very, very different to anything you've probably seen before. It's mind-blowing, especially if you haven't made any money on the internet yet. And it's just as big of a deal, though, if you're already making some and then you want to really accelerate that and multiply it, like up to 3 to 5 times more just by using this system is what we've seen. So how do we do that? Well, it's because we're going to give you the tools, the firepower, and the know-how to potentially crack that up to $1,000 days faster than you could probably thought possible. So let's get into it. Remember, so our goal is to really be bringing in those up to $1,000 commissions in a day. And what a lot of programs and courses maybe don't tell you is like, that's usually in revenue or something, but not actual commission, like amount to you. We want real money that we can stuff in our bank for rainy days or buy houses or cars or boats or spend on family and friends and spend on our kids, right? Or take a Caribbean vacation or whatever, right? So that's why I like to always talk about specifically the money, the profit, the commissions that you can get. So let's run through the 3-step system, and really, there are 3 steps, and the entire process is enjoyable. So you're gonna be able to make money from other people's products. So that's the focus, right? So they're willing to give you up to $1,000 commissions for every single sale. So let me know before we get into this, does this sound good? Let me know so I can make sure that you're awake here. All right. Yes, obviously, duh, of course. All right. Definitely. Okay. So let's get into it. So let me back up a little bit here because it's going to get really exciting. But remember when I said that we have a bird's eye view of what's going on? Well, I really tell you this not just from like the ClickBank intel, but from personal experience. So whenever we send out a promotion to our email list of subscribers, there's one thing that generates way more cash than anything else. Do you guys have an idea of what that is? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. Let me know. Oh, wow. Okay. You guys know. Oh, some of you guys know. All right. So it's a specific kind of promotion. It's called a workshop webinar or a workshop promotion. That's what makes the most money. If you've probably realized this by now, right? If you've been on our list or maybe another list, we rarely send people to products pages, like sales pages. Whenever we promote a product, what we do is we do a workshop webinar, which is sort of a webinar on steroids. Okay, so this is a specific kind of webinar. It's important, it's different, and it's really powerful. So this is a special kind of webinar that people show up for. They learn about a topic, and then they get an awesome offer at the end to help them succeed with that topic. All right, so that's what our workshop webinars are. And what's just a regular webinar? Well, a regular webinar is just what you're looking at right now, right? So it's a way of giving a long and detailed and hopefully entertaining presentation about a product or service. And I know workshop webinar or the word webinar can be a scary term, right? You got to get on live, you have to handle technology, you got to talk to an audience, you got to get people to show up at the same time, like all at once, right? It's crazy.